Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin has shown volatility with a recent dip and recovery. The RSI fluctuating between 34.0 and 53.3 indicates periods of both oversold and overbought conditions, suggesting a sideways to slightly upward trend. The Bollinger Bands consistently show price oscillations around 84400, with the upper band around 88700 and the lower band around 77200. Considering these factors, I propose a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Bands. We will initiate a long position when the RSI dips below 37.0 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. Specifically, let's enter a long position at $79,000. Given the support price of $82,300, we will set a stop-loss order at $77,500 to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price will be $85,000, aligning with the upper Bollinger Band and a reasonable profit margin. If the price reaches $85,000, we will consider moving the stop-loss to the entry price of $79,000 to secure profits and potentially ride further upward momentum. This strategy aims to capitalize on short-term price corrections while benefiting from the overall upward trend. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethereum exhibits a downtrend, particularly noticeable from April 7, 2025, onwards with a significant drop to $1,580. The RSI consistently remains below 40, indicating an oversold condition, with the lowest reading at 24.7 on April 10, 2025. The Bollinger Bands also suggest a potential downward movement, as the price is consistently approaching the lower band. Therefore, I recommend a short position strategy. We will enter a short position at $1,520, placing a stop-loss order at $1,560 to protect against unexpected upward movements. The initial target price will be $1,460, aligning with the forecast price on April 20, 2025. To optimize returns, we can implement a dynamic target price strategy based on the RSI and Bollinger Bands. If the price reaches $1,460 and the RSI falls below 30, we will adjust the target price to $1,410. If the price reaches $1,410 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, we will further adjust the target price to $1,400. This approach allows us to capitalize on further downward momentum while mitigating risk with the stop-loss order at $1,560. This combined strategy leverages both technical indicators and forecast data to maximize potential profits in the current market conditions. Based on the historical data and forecast, XRP has shown volatility with a general upward trend. The support price has remained consistent at $2.09, while the resistance price is $2.35. The RSI fluctuates between 31.4 and 50.6, indicating periods of oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have widened and narrowed, suggesting periods of increased and decreased volatility. Considering these factors, I propose a combined strategy integrating RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels. We will implement a long position when the RSI dips below 30, near the support level, and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. Specifically, I recommend entering a long position at $1.97 when the RSI falls below 30 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. The stop-loss should be set just below the support level at $1.85 to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price is set at $2.12, near the center of the Bollinger Bands and slightly above the recent high. If the price reaches $2.12, we can consider moving the stop-loss to the entry price of $1.97 to secure profits and reduce risk. A secondary target price of $2.35, coinciding with the resistance level, can be considered for a more aggressive profit-taking strategy. This portfolio combines the strengths of each strategy to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB has shown considerable volatility, fluctuating between a support price of $552 and a resistance price of $587. The RSI has mostly remained within the 34 to 50 range, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. However, the recent dip in RSI values, particularly on April 10th and 11th, suggests a potential short-term oversold scenario. Combining this with the Bollinger Bands, which have been widening, indicating increased volatility, I propose a cautious long entry strategy. We will enter a long position at $573, placing a stop-loss order at $552, which is the support level. The initial target price will be $587, the resistance level, aiming for a potential gain of $14. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate a dynamic target adjustment based on the RSI and Bollinger Bands. If the price reaches $587 and the RSI exceeds 60, we will move the stop-loss to the entry price of $573 to secure profits. If the price continues to rise and the upper Bollinger Band is breached, we will set a new target price at $597. Conversely, if the price falls below $574, we will exit the position to minimize losses. This adaptive approach aims to maximize returns while mitigating risks associated with the inherent volatility of BNB. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana shows a volatile trend with periods of consolidation and upward movement. The RSI consistently fluctuates around the oversold and overbought levels, indicating potential for short-term gains. The Bollinger Bands suggest that the price is currently approaching the lower band, indicating a potential buying opportunity. Considering these factors, I recommend a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Bands for optimal returns. We will enter a long position at $116, coinciding with the first forecast price and the lower Bollinger Band. The stop-loss will be set at $114, just below the lower Bollinger Band, to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $126, aligning with the forecast price and the upper Bollinger Band. To maximize profits, we will implement a dynamic target price strategy. Once the price reaches $126, we will move the stop-loss to break-even, securing the initial investment. Subsequently, we will adjust the target price to $132, the resistance level, aiming for a more substantial profit. If the price fails to reach $126 and the RSI falls below 20, indicating an oversold condition, we will exit the position at $114 to prevent further losses. This combined strategy, leveraging both RSI and Bollinger Bands, offers a balanced approach to capitalize on Solana's potential while mitigating risks. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogecoin shows a sideways trend with price fluctuating between the support of $0.142 and the resistance of $0.167. The RSI indicates oversold conditions on several days, particularly around $0.149 to $0.16, suggesting a potential bounce. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is currently near the lower band, which could indicate a short-term buying opportunity. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy. The entry price should be $0.154, with a stop-loss set at $0.142, right at the support level. A target price of $0.167 is set, aligning with the resistance level. To maximize returns, I suggest a portfolio strategy combining RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels. We will initiate a long position when the RSI is below 30 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. The initial entry price is $0.154, with a stop-loss at $0.142. If the price breaks through the resistance level of $0.167, we will take partial profits and move the stop-loss to the entry price of $0.154 to secure profits. If the price falls back to $0.142, the position will be closed. The forecast indicates a stable price in the range of $0.151 to $0.157, so we can expect a modest gain. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON shows an upward trend. The RSI consistently climbed above 50, indicating strengthening momentum. The forecast prices predict continued growth, reaching $0.267. Considering the Bollinger Bands, the price has been fluctuating within the bands, but the recent movement suggests it's approaching the upper band. The support price is $0.253 and the resistance price is $0.259. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy. My strategy is to enter a long position at $0.247. The stop loss should be set slightly below the support level at $0.250 to protect against potential downturns. The initial target price is the resistance level at $0.259. If the price breaks through the resistance, the target price should be adjusted to $0.267 based on the forecast. This strategy combines the upward trend, RSI momentum, and Bollinger Band's positioning, aiming for high returns while managing risk with a well-defined stop loss and target price. Based on the historical data and forecast, Cardano demonstrates a downtrend with increased volatility. The RSI consistently fluctuates, dipping below 40, indicating oversold conditions, but rarely reaching extreme oversold levels. The Bollinger Bands show a narrowing range, suggesting decreasing volatility, while the forecast prices predict a sideways movement around $0.62. Given these factors, I recommend a short-term contrarian strategy focusing on capitalizing on short-term bounces. We will initiate a long position when the RSI dips below 35, indicating an oversold condition. The entry price will be $0.575. A stop loss will be placed just below the support level at $0.55 to protect against further downside. The target price will be set at the nearest resistance level of $0.637, aiming for a quick profit. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. If the price touches the lower band of $0.553, it strengthens the oversold signal and is a good entry point. If the price approaches the upper band of $0.755, it suggests a potential reversal, prompting us to take profits. This combined RSI and Bollinger Bands approach offers a more robust risk management framework. Therefore, the final portfolio will be a long position with an entry price of $0.575, a stop-loss price of $0.55, and a target price of $0.637, adjusting based on Bollinger Band signals. Based on the historical data and forecast, Avalanche shows a volatile trend with periods of consolidation and upward movement. The RSI consistently fluctuates around the midpoint, indicating neither strong bullish nor bearish momentum. The Bollinger Bands have widened recently, suggesting increased volatility. Given the current RSI of 51.7 on April 13, 2025, and the forecast for April 14, 2025, at $17.9, I recommend a contrarian strategy. We will enter a long position at $17.9, placing a stop loss at $16.1, just below the established support level. The initial target price will be $19.2, aligning with the center of the Bollinger Bands, aiming for a quick profit from the anticipated bounce. To maximize potential returns, we will implement a trailing stop-loss strategy. Once the price reaches $19.2, we will adjust the stop-loss to $18.2, securing partial profits and limiting downside risk. If the price continues to rise, we will further adjust the stop-loss to $18.4, and finally to $18.8. The final target price will be $22.1, the resistance level, providing a substantial profit opportunity. This combined strategy leverages the RSI for entry, Bollinger Bands for price prediction and support/resistance levels for risk management and profit taking, creating a balanced and potentially high-return investment approach. Based on the historical data and forecast, Chainlink has been exhibiting a downtrend with periods of volatility. The RSI consistently dips below 40, indicating oversold conditions, while the Bollinger Bands show that the price has been fluctuating within a narrow range, frequently touching the lower band around $10.9. The forecast for the next week suggests a continued downward pressure, with prices hovering around $11.8 to $12.3. Considering these factors, I recommend a contrarian strategy focusing on short-term bounces. We will enter a long position when the RSI reaches an oversold level below 30, with an entry price of $11.3. A stop-loss should be placed just below the support level at $10.8 to protect against further downside. The target price for this trade will be the middle Bollinger Band, around $12.6, aiming to capitalize on a short-term rebound. This strategy combines RSI and Bollinger Bands to identify potential short-term gains. The portfolio will be 60% based on the RSI strategy, 30% based on the Bollinger Band strategy, and 10% based on the support and resistance strategy. This allocation balances risk and reward, capitalizing on the identified trends while incorporating a safety net. This is a high-risk, high-reward strategy suitable for experienced investors. Based on the historical data and forecast, DeXe exhibits a downtrend with decreasing momentum, especially visible in the forecast for the next week. The RSI consistently remains below 50, frequently entering oversold conditions, below 37, suggesting potential short-term bounces. The Bollinger Bands show the price approaching the lower band, indicating a possible rebound. Therefore, I recommend a short-term long position strategy capitalizing on potential bounces from oversold levels. We will enter a long position at $14, placing a stop loss at $13.6, just below the established support level. Our initial target price will be $15, aiming to capture a quick profit from the anticipated rebound. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate a dynamic target based on the RSI. If the price reaches $15 and the RSI exceeds 60, we will adjust the target price to $15.8, the resistance level. This allows us to potentially capture more significant gains if the bounce gains momentum. Conversely, if the price fails to reach $15 and the RSI remains below 40, we will exit the position at $14.7 to minimize losses. This layered approach combines technical indicators with support and resistance levels to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Polkadot has shown a downtrend. The RSI consistently dipped below 40, indicating a weak upward momentum. The Bollinger Bands also suggest a contraction, hinting at potential volatility. Considering these factors, I recommend a short selling strategy. Entry price will be $3.51 with a stop loss at $3.71. The initial target price is $3.47, aligning with the forecast for April 20, 2025. To refine this strategy, I will incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. When the RSI falls below 30, it signals an oversold condition, and when it rises above 50, it signals a potential reversal. If the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it indicates a potential buying opportunity. Combining these indicators, I suggest an entry at $3.49 when the RSI is below 30 and the price is near the lower Bollinger Band. The stop loss remains at $3.68, and the target price is adjusted to $3.46, based on the forecast and support level. This combined strategy aims to maximize returns by capitalizing on both trend and volatility signals. Based on the historical data and forecast, Litecoin has shown significant volatility with a recent downtrend. The RSI consistently dips below 30, indicating oversold conditions, while the Bollinger Bands suggest periods of contraction and expansion. Considering the support price of $69.2 and the forecast for the next week, a long position strategy is recommended. We will enter a long position at $71.3, placing a stop-loss order at $69.2 to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price will be $74.2, aligning with the forecast high and the upper Bollinger Band. This strategy leverages the oversold RSI and anticipates a bounce from the support level, aiming to capture a short-term upward movement. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate a dynamic target price based on the Bollinger Bands. If the price reaches $74.2, we will move the stop loss to the entry price of $71.3, securing profits while allowing for further upside. The final target price will be $78.6, the historical resistance level. This layered approach combines the RSI oversold signal with Bollinger Band guidance and support/resistance levels, creating a robust and adaptable investment plan. The portfolio will be 60% long position, 30% waiting for the price to reach the resistance level, and 10% short position if the price breaks through the support level. Based on the historical data and forecast, Decentraland shows a slight upward trend. The RSI consistently fluctuates, dipping below 40 for a portion of the period, suggesting oversold conditions at times. The Bollinger Bands indicate periods of volatility, with the price occasionally touching the lower band. The forecast suggests a continued upward movement, with prices nearing $0.265. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position when the RSI falls below 30, indicating an oversold condition. The entry price will be $0.206, with a stop loss set just below the lower Bollinger Band at $0.198. The target price will be $0.269, near the resistance level. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate a trailing stop loss. Once the price reaches $0.24, we will adjust the stop loss to $0.23. Further, when the price reaches $0.26, we will adjust the stop loss to $0.25. This approach helps to protect profits while allowing for continued upside potential. The portfolio will prioritize this long position, allocating 60% of available capital. A secondary, smaller long position can be considered when the RSI reaches 70, indicating an overbought condition, with an entry price of $0.265, a stop loss at $0.258, and a target price of $0.292, utilizing the remaining 40% of capital. This diversified approach balances risk and reward for optimal returns. Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin Cash exhibits a clear upward trend, particularly evident in the recent surge to $344. The RSI consistently moves above 30, indicating increasing buying pressure. The forecast predicts continued price appreciation, reaching $347 by April 20, 2025. Combining these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. Entry price should be $310, capitalizing on the initial forecast price. A stop-loss order should be placed at $298, just below the lower Bollinger Band, to mitigate potential losses if the price reverses. The target price is set at $347, aligning with the forecast high and providing a substantial profit margin. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Bands indicators. When the RSI dips below 30, oversold, consider adding to the position. Conversely, when the RSI exceeds 70, overbought, take partial profits. The Bollinger Bands provide dynamic support and resistance levels. If the price touches the lower band, it suggests a potential buying opportunity. If the price reaches the upper band, it signals a possible profit-taking point. Therefore, the final portfolio will be a combination of the initial long position and the RSI and Bollinger Band strategies, offering a balance between trend following and momentum-based trading. Based on the historical data and forecast, PAX Gold exhibits an overall upward trend, supported by consistent resistance around $3,260 and a forecast projecting further price increases. The RSI fluctuates, dipping below 50 on April 6, 2025, indicating a potential oversold condition. Considering this, I propose a strategy combining RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels. We will initiate a long position when the RSI falls below 45 and the price touches the support level of $3,190. The entry price will be $3,190. The stop loss will be set just below the support level at $3,170. The initial target price will be the recent resistance level of $3,260. To maximize potential gains, we will implement a dynamic trailing stop loss based on the Bollinger Bands. Once the price reaches $3,260, we will move the stop loss to the center of the Bollinger Bands, which is currently around $3,110. If the price continues to rise, we will adjust the stop loss to the lower Bollinger Band. The final target price will be $3,350 based on the forecast data. This combined approach leverages technical indicators and price action to identify high-probability entry points and manage risk effectively, aiming for substantial returns while safeguarding capital. Based on the historical data and forecast, Artificial Superintelligence Alliance has shown considerable volatility. The price has fluctuated significantly, with a recent dip followed by a rebound. The RSI indicates that the asset has recently been in oversold territory, with values below 30, suggesting a potential for a bounce. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is currently near the lower band, further supporting the possibility of a short-term upward movement. Considering these factors, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. The entry price should be $0.434. A stop loss should be set at $0.38 to protect against unexpected downside. The initial target price should be $0.454, aligning with the support level and a quick profit. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate a second target based on the resistance level. If the price reaches $0.454, we should move the stop loss to break even to secure profits. If the price continues to rise and approaches the resistance level of $0.505, we can set a second target at $0.485. This tiered approach allows us to capitalize on potential upward momentum while mitigating risk. The overall portfolio should be 60% bullish, 30% conservative, and 10% risk-seeking to maximize returns while managing volatility. This strategy combines technical indicators with support and resistance levels to create a balanced and potentially profitable trading plan. Based on the historical data and forecast, just exhibits a sideways trend with fluctuations between the support of $0.0307 and the resistance of $0.0317. The RSI indicator fluctuates between 34.1 and 54.5, indicating periods of oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been trading within the bands for most of the period, with occasional touches of the upper and lower bands. Considering the forecast data, the price is expected to remain within this range, with a slight upward trend towards $0.0319. Therefore, I recommend a combined strategy utilizing RSI and Bollinger Bands to capitalize on these fluctuations. The strategy involves a combination of RSI and Bollinger Band signals. When the RSI falls below 30, oversold, enter a long position at $0.0305. Set a stop loss at $0.0302, just below the support level and the lower Bollinger Band. Target a price of $0.0315, near the resistance level and the upper Bollinger Band. Conversely, when the RSI exceeds 70, overbought, enter a short position at $0.0315. Set a stop loss at $0.0318, just above the resistance level and the upper Bollinger Band. Target a price of $0.0305, near the support level and the lower Bollinger Band. This combined strategy aims to capture profits from both upward and downward movements within the established range, maximizing potential returns. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON shows an upward trend. The RSI consistently climbed above 50, indicating strengthening momentum. The forecast prices predict continued growth, reaching $0.267. Considering the Bollinger Bands, the price has been fluctuating within the bands, but the recent movement suggests it's approaching the upper band. The support price is $0.253 and the resistance price is $0.259. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy. My strategy is to enter a long position at $0.247. The stop loss should be set slightly below the support level at $0.250 to protect against potential downturns. The initial target price is the resistance level at $0.259. If the price breaks through the resistance, the target price should be adjusted to $0.267 based on the forecast. This strategy combines the upward trend, RSI momentum, and Bollinger Bands positioning, aiming for high returns while managing risk with a well-defined stop loss and target price. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solayer demonstrates a clear uptrend, especially with the recent surge from $1.37 to $1.93. The RSI consistently hovers above 50, with several days exceeding 60, indicating bullish momentum. The forecast data projects continued upward movement, reaching $2.06. Combining these observations, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $1.81. Given the recent volatility, a stop loss should be placed at $1.7 to protect against potential pullbacks. The initial target price will be $1.99, aligning with the forecast data. To refine the strategy, we will incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price frequently tests the upper band, suggesting potential overbought conditions. However, the overall trend remains upward. Therefore, if the price reaches $1.99, we will move the stop loss to $1.8. If the price continues to rise, we will set a second target price at $2.02. If the price reaches $2.02, we will move the stop loss to $1.9. This dynamic stop loss and target approach allows us to capitalize on the upward trend while mitigating risk.